Greetings. Today, the mood of the day continues in spiritual Pisces, where we feel things, we pick up on things. Our psychic and energetic pores are open. And then later in the day, around 4, I can get you the exact time, 4:07 p.m. Pacific time, the moon goes into Aries and will then join up with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, bringing a shift into action and activating your next steps and thinking about how to move forward. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, June 18th. With the moon continuing in Pisces, we have that flow, that need to go with the flow, to allow, to let go, maybe feel some things, maybe let go of some issues and themes from the past, things you don't want to bring with you into your future. And sometimes letting go of things brings the feelings. So there can be grief, there can be a need to process what we are feeling, what is moving and flowing, even if we can't necessarily understand it, or we can't always make sense of everything that's happening that we might be feeling. And so that watery Pisces energy means we're feeling things, and we are might be processing some release, some feelings associated with letting go of the past. And of course, as the moon goes into Aries, we then shift gears from that space of letting go and flowing and feeling and noticing things on the psychic level, the intuitive level, where we move into Aries action. So with Aries, we activate that life force energy, that rebirth energy that follows the letting go, the surrender of Pisces. Pisces is very spiritual because it transcends the physical world. It helps us connect with wisdom, with our hearts, with things that really speak to the bigger picture and what lies beyond our day-to-day lives. So when we move through the Pisces moon, we are in that process of surrendering and releasing our everyday cares, worries, concerns, feelings, stress, so needing to let go of some of that, but also as we allow, right, let ourselves be carried by the current, it helps us to release the previous cycle. In this case, since the moon went into Aries the last time, which would have been before actually the new moon in Gemini that began the current moon cycle. So then we shift gears when the moon goes into Aries, where we get that rebirth energy, that new, like, okay, the battery has been now filled up for the next stage of the journey, whatever that is. So thinking about your action steps, thinking about what you need to do or how you need to move, or what is next on your forward forward moving plan. So taking action. And also Aries is, it's impulsive, right? It's like we are in that Aries energy of action without thought, and that can bring in some of the energy of the Fool, like the Fool in the tarot deck, where we're kind of naively walking into whatever it is we are walking into without really thinking it all through. But on the other hand, we can also have that ability to find our courage to do things that maybe we might normally hold back from, or some things that we might naturally, try to hold back. So the ability to just step into it without really worrying too much about it. And then also So we have courage activated, but we also have this life force, this will, this drive to move forward. So we take risks, right? We step into that realm of the unknown, which is sometimes precisely where we need to be to figure out our next step. So taking those risks, having the opportunity to fall down, just like a toddler who is learning to walk has to fall down a few times, right? You have to get really comfortable with falling down to learn how to walk. And we have to get really comfortable with taking risks, with failure, with trial and error, with making mistakes. And as long as you are clear within yourself, here is why, here is my purpose, here is what is steering me or driving me forward in my own bigger picture, like what matters in that bigger picture, what are my spiritual values, spiritual beliefs, what does my heart want, what brings meaning to my life. As long as we are grounded in those things, then we can step into making those mistakes because we know that that will lead us to the next step and the next and the next. And before you know it, you're looking back going, wow, I don't know how I got here, but here I am. So think about that as the moon enters Aries, and of course, joining up with Saturn and Neptune later in the day today. It will be toward the evening Pacific time, so 6 p.m. It's maybe more like 6 or 7 p.m. ish, around that time Pacific, where it's activating that Saturn Neptune conjunction. So those energies of that bigger picture, really like having more of a sense of weight about it. What are the actions you're going to need to take next, and why is it important? And how does it come from a place of purpose and meaning? And what has value for you in that bigger picture? So those are my thoughts for today, and I wanted to share two really exciting news. If you are a user of Astro.com, if you've never heard of it, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But Astro.com is a website where you can go to generate astrology charts. And it might be fun to explore if you are learning astrology. If you haven't heard of it yet, go check it out. And even more reason to check it out today is because my article from the Evolving Astrologer on cycles and planetary cycles and how they support a healing process was chosen to be featured on astro.com. So I am super excited about that, and I hope you will go check it out and read my article. And even if it's a little bit over your head in terms of astrology, technological language, you can get a sense of it, and just hopefully whet your appetite to learn a little bit more. Play around on the astro.com site too. They have some really cool things like where the planets are exactly at any given moment based on your time zone. So you can actually go and look and see where the moon is right now. You may have to teach yourself those symbols. So, but moon is pretty easy to find, right? We all know what the symbol for a moon, a little crescent, looks like. So anyway, go play with it. Thanks for checking out my article, astro.com. It is um, cycles as part of the healing process. And thank you again for being here. I am Marina Orms. My website is astrologyheals.com. And thank you for being a subscriber and all of your support. I so appreciate you. And I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self care. Bye for now.